Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we have a bunch of results over the past 2 weekends. We had a bunch in the JP format as well as 2 BCS events, one in Austria and one in Rosemont. So we're gonna cover every single thing that essentially went down in each of those regions and just kind of see how the meta is evolving in each of the formats over the last 2 weeks. If you guys need any coaching for the BCS season, my Metafy link is in the bottom right hand corner. Slots are getting filled up. I know that this previous month was a really heavy month for coaching, so if you guys need anything for the next couple of months, feel free to book it in and we can get started. So just looking at the Deluxe Cup at Sendai, which I think was 2 weeks ago. This is pretty much what I guess set 12 kind of looks like. Majority of it is Bastion. Bastion Accord is a very strong deck, and then pretty much with a touch of like everything else. So your Mushi Kings, your Gandivas, your Orphist, which is pretty surprising. I think Orphist is lacking a little bit, but I mean, like, then again, it's teams format, diversity cut, yada yada, and then Willissa and just a whole bunch of other rogue decks, probably pushing the diversity cut. And then just looking at the teams that came top 4, which is so surprising. So the first team brought Messiah, Bavsagra, and Zorgomas. And then the second team brought, I never get the name right for this. It's like Omni something something something. I just call it the Masked Dragon, or yeah, the Masked Dragon in Dark States. Tamayura and Willista. Third was Claudine, Mega Lonozuchi, and Bastion Accord. And then Lukier came forth with Mushi King and Bastion Accord. Some of these lists were like pretty spicy. I saw the Lukier list. It ran like the PR, the grade 2 PR with Jovial Jugglers. And yeah, it was just a lot going on. But yeah, very, very cool to see, like, the meta isn't completely dominated by one deck as it was when Gandiva first came out. Every team played Gandiva. And just seeing teams bring wacky stuff. This is teams format, kind of like what we see during the BSF season. So yeah, that was the Sendai Cup. The Sendai WGP season 2. Sorry. And then jumping to the Bushido China League. So in Xiamen, so 2 Mikazuki, 2 Orphis, 1 Jet, Bastion, Ebisu, and Willista. So that was the top 8 breakdown, and then first place was taken by an Ebisu, second was Willista, third was Jet, and fourth is Munechika. So we can see that Jet was so put to the side for so long, and it still like produces results. So if you guys have your Jet deck and you guys are looking to play in the BCS season, Jet might actually be a good pick, right? Alas, Willista, Gandiva, Minerva coming up, they're probably like the 3 big powerhouse decks. But that's not to say that Jet can't win in this format, right? Because these are the results. These guys are playing against, stuff that we don't even have in English. Like, Mushi King, Ebisu, Mikazuki, Munechika. Like, all of these decks are like very, very strong collab decks, right? And we don't even have them in English. And the fact that Jet is getting results, that just translates really well into the BCS season, because it just shows that you don't have to worry about any of the collab decks. You just need to beat Willista and Gandiva and maybe Minerva, right? And results are results. So yeah, just some indication for the standard guys in the BCS season. Then we look at Tokushima. So the Deluxe Cup, I think that was this previous weekend. So a lot of Willista, 4 Willistas, 3 Mikazuki, 2 Overlord, 2 Minervas, and Gandiva, Mushi King, and a whole bunch of other stuff. Then looking at the top 4, so the first place was Hexa Orb, Mikazuki, and Overlord. Second was Mikazuki again with Overlord and Eva. Third was Kashu with Minerva and Willista. And then fourth was Mikazuki, Training Tools, and Gandiva. Tokushima seems very, very strong. I don't know if I want to be praying that Tokushima comes into English, because obviously how strong it is, but I really like the idea of like all these collab decks making an impact, right? These people who invest in these collab series get what they want for the duration of how good that set becomes. and then, you know, tag along with some support afterwards. And yeah, it'd be really exciting to kind of see the collab stuff in English as well. So yeah, that is Tokushima. Then we jump to the BCS events. So we had Rosemont, so we're going to cover that first, and then Austria coming a little bit later. So in standard, there were 3 Gandivas, 2 Chronojet, 1 Willista, Messiah, and MLB again. So I think the last one was in Toronto, and Toronto, I think that MLB came, quote me if I'm wrong, second, I think. And MLB coming up again, and then looking at standard again, you know, first taken by Jet, second was MLB. I think the MLB last time came third, if I'm not mistaken. Third was Willista, and then fourth, just fallen short of a world invite, was another Jet. Then jumping to V. See, this is what I expect from V. Maybe like 75% of the pie chart. The last two were a little bit weird. So half of it was Luard, 2 Grand Blues, 1 Genesis, and 1 Great Nature. I think this is another week where we don't see Thavas, which is quite interesting because I suspect that Thavas will be like one of the best decks, you know. Seeing the results that it got in the BSF season, I would have thought, you know, Thavas is like one of the decks that people would bring, but apparently not. But yeah, finally get to see some Luard results, which is very nice. But 2, you know, very oddball decks. So 1 Fenrir, 1 Hamskay. That's very interesting. Then looking at the top 4, none of the rogue decks made it, unfortunately. But first was Night Rose beating out Luard. And to be honest, that's not too much of a surprise. I think Night Rose, you know, 4 Skull Dragon attacks with ridiculous numbers, and then, you know, protects, just guards out the rear guards with crit on Luard's side. Second was Luard, third was Night Rose, and then fourth was Luard. Then looking at the premium side, whoo-wee. Not a single Ghidorah is seen on this pie chart, all right? And who called that? I did, all right? I told you guys that Ghidorah will be a deck that starts the format and probably will end the format at the end of the season. But in the middle, people will find decks to counter Ghidorah, right? Or to play into Ghidorah. Because Ghidorah is your gatekeeper deck, right? It's the deck that you want to beat, and Narukami fits that agenda, right? Narukami, 5 Narakamis, not even a surprise. All of them are running, you know, sweep command with Splashing Vanquisher and Exterminate. Just bare bones basic Narukami. And to be honest, I would not be surprised if I saw the rest of the BCS season like this, right? I also called, you know, Narukami and like a lot of these other decks, you know, are good because it doesn't care. It just calls cards from hand, binds stuff, gets a bunch of power, draws a lot. It just does everything that a deck wants, right? And it doesn't care. And it has battle phase disruption. So it has the whole package, right? So yeah, huge indication of what to see going forward. But yeah, 5 Narakamis, and then 1 Gear Chronicle, 1 NLK, and 1 Susanoo OTT. So I think this was the Popo, if I'm not mistaken. Quote me if I'm wrong. And then first place was taken by NLK, actually. Quite surprising because Narukami actually is a favored matchup into NLK. But maybe the NLK found, you know, something spicy, or, you know, the NLK knew how to play the matchup into Narukami, and then putting Narukami in second place. Third was Michael Kays coming third, one of my Metafy students. So congratulations, buddy, for your Worlds invite. I think that's your second Worlds now. I think we got on last year, and then this year, you know, we got a session, and, you know, here's your second World, so congratulations. And then beating Steve Maiden in 4th place. Now, jumping to Austria. So Austria, this is, as expected, the big 4 decks at the moment. And yeah, this was, I think, what I explained in one of the previous videos, like what the big decks are, right? Gandiva, Willista, Chronojet, and Zorga. The big 4 decks, as we expect. And then the top 4, first was taken by Jet. Again, you know, Jet is still this really, really good deck that can just scam wins and call it a day, right? You get your Worlds invite, call it a day. Second was Kalen with Willista. Third was Jay with Gandiva. And then fourth was a Chronojet. Then jumping to V. So this is where I see some Thavas, which is cool. So we had 2 Thavas, 2 Luards, 1 Astropod, 1 Anj, 1 Shaharat, a deck that I also indicated that it might be like a rogue pick, so to say, and then 1 Glendios, very cool. And then first place was taken by Tabas, second was Astropods, and then third was Maxime. So congrats, buddy, on, you know, getting your world invites. Yeah, I knew you could do it. So yeah, third was Tabas, and then fourth was Anj, just falling short of world invite. Congratulations to all the people who obtained the world invite. A lot of stacked names too, because like we have Carolus, which is Sutere, and then Michael. I know he was at Worlds last year as well, if I'm not mistaken. You know, Maxim Solom, everyone knows him. Kalen, you know, multi-world finalist. Jay, multi-world finalist. Like, absolutely stacked names. Very, very great to see. Then, Austria Premium though. Whoo-wee! Angel GYZE at 2. 2 Angel GYZEs. This is wild. 2 Link Jokers as well. Very control-based decks here in Austria. 1 Night Rose, 1 Narukami. That's probably like the only deck that made sense on this pie chart. Maybe other than Grand Blue. And yeah, I guess Chaos makes sense too. Junai and Chronojet. So I think Chronojet was Davek. So very cool to see him perform really well. You know, he's the current reigning world champ. And then first was taken by Night Rose, and then Luis coming second place with Narukami. Third was the Altmao Junai. So funnily enough, I was like looking through the deck, I was like, what is going on? And I guess the idea is to generate like Force 2 markers, right? Or yeah, Force 2 markers, and then go into Crystal Luster on a Salome, and then just restand a bunch. So I guess that's kind of like the play. And then fourth was Angel GYZE. I would have really liked to see Angel GYZE come top 3. That would have been pretty cool. I looked at some of the lists. It's pretty self-explanatory. You know, you deal your stuff with damage, you know, ping yourself and just keep draw. And then, yeah, get to GYZE, shoot 5, and yeah, GG's. So yeah, that's pretty much all the results we have for the past 2 weekends. I know that Manila is coming up. Probably a few more WGPs over the next couple of weeks. There will be another video coming out soon on the top 5 premium decks for the BCS season. Probably going to be released after next week. Next week after this week. But yeah, stay tuned for that. If you guys like this video, pop a like, comment down below what you guys think of all the results that we have covered so far. Anything that surprised you, because I definitely was surprised by these 2 down here, Jewel Knights and Angel GYZE. Very, very slick decks, I gotta say. So yeah, some surprises there. If you guys haven't already, click subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.